today we are using the Moonchild Tarot deck, and I have already selected the cards. I'm going to do our normal exercise. I'm going to show each of the cards, take a few breaths, center yourselves. You're looking for any notable sensation, image, feeling around which card you may be drawn to more than the other, or if it's a combination of both. Yeah, no rush. Just want to get it on your radar in case you didn't know. But yeah, in case you want to rewatch it, it is up. All right, so card number 1. And as you feel a pull to either or both of the cards, feel free to throw that number in the chat. And if you want to offer an explanation as well, number 2, for how the information came in, you can also share that because it's nice for kind of as a teachable moment. Other people can hear, oh, that's interesting that that's how that information came through. I wonder if I can nurture that as well. Number 2. In upcoming classes for this month, I have my psychic development class. I have my mini natal chart readings. And then I'm also going to be doing a lecture at the end of the month. Card number 2. On lunar nodes to prepare us for the September eclipse season. So we can get that in, get a bit of a conceptual understanding. And of course, I'll talk about the eclipses in my transit classes in September, but it'll be a nice primer for everybody. All right, I'm going to show them one more time. Sunset. So the question is really just you tuning in. I'm going to be using these cards for the week ahead reading. So I'll have the first reading and the second reading. So you're just feeling for a difference. If you want to participate, you don't have to try to anticipate using your intuition, which reading will connect with you more. So I'm going to show them one more time. This card number 1. And then card number 2. What came in right away was a winter storm. And obviously where I am in the world, it is summertime. So that is odd, but there's other seasons in other places. But I think it's more about the metaphor rather than literal. I mean, who knows, maybe somewhere that you live will experience a blizzard or something. But it feels like it's a tundra type deal. Frozen tundra where like there's a lot of wind. It's almost like the lighting, when you're in wintertime or even in the summer when you hit like a certain time of early evening where there's kind of just a color on everything. It's like foreboding. It's as if like this, oh my gosh, it's like Game of Thrones, like winter's coming. But like that storm is coming. So it seems a little smaller and farther away, as if like we're looking at it. It looks like we're looking at it through like a peephole or something. Because we are inside and we're seeing the storm out there, that's also why it's not like we're cold and we're having to brave the conditions because we're not in the storm. We just are seeing it. So what I want to know in this situation is, 1, if we can get information on what the storm represents. And 2, when's the storm coming? Are we just on watch the whole week, looking out our window, going, oh, there's a storm. That doesn't look too good. And that ominous feeling, are we just sitting in that all week? Yeah. And okay, what I'm getting is that there's some people who decide to bundle up. It's like they want to experiment. So the storm isn't quite here, but it's getting closer. And there's some people who put on all of the snow gear, big fluffy hood, and they go outside because they want to, like they go towards it. So there's some people that decide that they want to go towards the storm. They want to get a closer look. They want to see how bad it actually is. it's like storm chaser kind of a thing, but they're just going out there. But even in doing that, for anyone who decides to do that, they're not going to understand it by the end of the week. This feels like this is a long progression. The storm is far enough away. We see it approaching for quite some time. It's a bit before it gets here. And then we have to experience it. And how long does the storm last? And then we have to get to the other side and go through the aftermath period. This feels like this is a several month situation, but we are more aware of what exactly it involves and the fact that, okay, this really is coming. I didn't know something like this was going to happen. And it takes a very specific type of person to decide, feels like it's by Wednesday, Thursday, that they're just going to start going towards it. Like they're going to leave the safety of their home and just start going because they want to be able to understand it, almost like reporting back. Like when you have like the weather people and they're out there and they're literally like getting blown, you're like, oh my gosh, why are they doing that? Like just to report that it's windy. That's the energy of that type of person, that they want to go out there in the storm to be able to bring the wisdom back to help people be prepared for when it actually arrives. So it's a actually noble action for them to be taking and doing that, because it is out of a sense of community and wanting to help others. And okay, with that, I'm flipping the card over. This is interesting. So we have the Judgment card. And this card, I actually have been pulling this a decent amount. And this represents, you could have judgment in the sense of the scales in a way, like passing judgment. But also it represents a rebirth. It's like second chances. So you could have the opportunity, like, what are we going to do here? And I think it's a fascinating pairing with this reading, knowing that we have the choice to just stay inside and watch the storm coming. But we also could be that person who goes out there, and that individual who is being proactive and thinking about the community. They're trying to give the community that second chance, that opportunity to be able to weather it and be able to get through on the other side, and then have whatever the new chapter is, because there's going to be a rebuilding after this. Because I just keep getting, oh, there's debris, like there's debris. So once we get on the other side of this storm, once it finally arrives, then we're going to have to, it's not a starting over, but we're having these offshoots. We have something else that emerges from the other side, and that our personal judgments and discernment are really crucial during this time. So not only are we making the decision about whether we want to stay indoors or whether we want to go out there and help and warn others, but this is the energy of, this feels to me like it's like the next 4 months. So this is a several month period of, we're just identifying this week, oh, there's a storm coming. And even the person that's leaving, like I said, they're not going to come back this week. So they're just getting themselves out in the field, but it might take themselves a bit before they can actually reach the storm and then start reporting back. And then they'll have to journey back. And then the storm arrives, and then we have to deal with the storm, and then it has to go away, and then we're in the debris and dealing with the aftermath. And so it's a long process, and at every juncture we have to pass our own judgment and make decisive choices. But we're thinking about the second chance. We're thinking about what could happen if we chose a different route, the noble route, the higher calling. It's a pretty like heady message, considering that it's just, this is the taster. This is the tease of, oh, by the way, this thing is happening over the next several months. I wonder if in future weeks I'll get other information that's picking up on, oh, the storm is here, or like people coming back. I'll be curious to see how that transpires over the weeks and apparently months ahead. It looks like somebody zipping up a sleeping bag, but they're zipping it up and over themselves so they're encased and cocooned. Not about protection. Slightly more about comfort. But how do we get oxygen? That's what I want to know. How do we have oxygen when we are zipping ourselves fully enclosed in a sleeping bag? Responses I'm getting. That's not the point of the message. You can poke holes in the bag if you want. It's not, it's like, you're missing the point. Okay, then what's the point? Drop in the bucket. This is a short-term energy in contrast to the last one, which was the kickoff for around 4 months. This is just a brief splash. It's a moment of something happening this week, not a realization. Depending on the person, it could be something that feels emotional, more that it feels tender. There's like a tenderness to it. And I guess that does make sense if we're talking about it being comfort. So is this just like is this a nice moment of deep emotional connection? Doesn't mean that people are crying, but people could feel really seen and really held. That's nice. A long overdue hug. Not even, it doesn't even feel like it's about a conversation. Maybe you do have a conversation, but it's about being seen, it's about being held. But it's coming through that it's some part of you. It could be inner child related. It could be a wound that you have. We've been talking about Chiron retrograde. But it's a moment of tranquility, of tenderness, of just of peace, because you're feeling seen, valued, honored, recognized. What a relief that is to have that like gift of a moment. Four of Cups, which I know we have pulled before. And Four of Cups, one, I was mentioning emotions a little bit, and cups pick up on emotions. But with the Four of Cups, how I learned this card, it's fours are all about like a foundation. It's, harmony in a way. It's also sixes, but there's some stability in it. So the fact that we're feeling safe, we're feeling held, the energy of this is that we are supported emotionally, cups. But I had learned about this card in the context of like something's coming and you can't see it, which I'm laughing at because of course we know the first reading was, oh, there's a storm coming, but at least we see the storm. This is just, I think, some of the acknowledgement of maybe that part of us that needs to be held or needs to be seen. Maybe we haven't been seeing it. We haven't recognized it's there. So we're also recognizing it ourselves as somebody else is holding it, as somebody else is honoring it, loving it, tending to it. And then that can be made visible for us. For reading number 1, We had our winter storm. We are safe inside. We're seeing the storm approaching in the distance. We're observing the wind, how the light is refracting. There's a little bit about it that's slightly ominous looking, but we are far enough removed. We're seeing it from quite a distance away. And we have the option. We can be that person just waiting for the storm to arrive, or we could gear up, get our snow pants on, get our gloves, get our boots, and start heading towards the storm. And the individuals that choose to do that have the focus of community in mind, that they're going out there so that they can get information, insights, wisdom, and report back to the community, those inside the house, so that they can be prepared and they really understand this storm for when it does arrive. And this entire process of seeing the storm happens this week. And then people choosing to go out. They don't come back within this week, but eventually people will come back. Then the storm reaches. Then people are dealing with the debris, the aftermath, having to heal and get to the other side. That entire timeline came in at around 4 months, essentially getting us to end of 2025. And the card that we had was the Judgment card with the focus on those decisions. Are we deciding to stay in? Are we deciding to go out? Once the storm gets here, what are we going to do? And then knowing baked in with this Judgment card, we have the idea of the second chances and the rebirth. So what is that life afterwards, after the storm happens? The wisdom that the explorers, if you will, the storm chasers, that they get could give everyone a second chance, where maybe they wouldn't have survived, metaphorically, this storm if they didn't have that information. So there's a lot of different interpretations depending on who you are in the story and then what you are deciding along the way. And you have plenty of opportunities to make decisions. So the power is in your hands to decide exactly what you want to do at every given juncture over the next 4 months. And then we move into our second reading. And our second reading was the big sleeping bag that we are zipping ourselves up into. So we're fully contained in a sleeping bag. And I was laughing like, how do we breathe? And Spirit's just like, just poke holes in it. But that's not the point. So we're in our sleeping bag. And it was this idea of comfort, that we are being comforted. And then I was getting the image of a drop in the bucket. So it's unlike this first reading, this is a quick splash. It's just a moment. It's something that's fleeting that happens this week where we are having our emotions honored, tender parts of ourselves witnessed, seen, recognized by other people. And this could be, as relates to our card, Four of Cups. This is for stability. So it's security. So we feel safe. We feel held. Cups, emotions. And specifically, something that we might not see coming. So this could be a part of ourselves that we've even hidden from ourselves, that we're not even aware of, something that's deep in our subconscious, or that we have buried away and we've forgotten about. And so we have this moment, this conversation, this situation that allows us to see ourselves in addition to other people being able to see, recognize, and hold us. So this feels like a moment that is overdue. So it's a hug that we needed, conversation, but less about the words, more about the company, more about just being together, being recognized, being seen, being held, being valued for what it is that you are doing, how you are feeling, or maybe that part of yourself that you have tucked away a little bit. Number one, to contrast, I mentioned this before for reading number one, this is an energy that lasts 4 months. We're at the start here. We are kicking off a 4-month period this week. Number 2 is just a flash of something that happens. It's very brief, but it's really meaningful. So to compare, both of these are very meaningful and significant. And that's where it's like, time is a construct where you could have this really brief moment. It maybe is 5 minutes of your week. And this feels to carry equal weight to this 4-month period. And that's because it is really significant and moving and validating. And here, really in both of them, we are empowered. So we are feeling held, we're feeling safe, we're feeling secure. Even if this was something that you have tucked away, forgotten about, kept hidden from yourself, it's not that in the recognition of it, we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's true. Like this is some big revelation. This isn't about a revelation energy. It is about the stability. It's like, oh, but it's okay. That's the feeling. And then of course here we are empowered because we can make whatever choices that we want. We can be engaged. We can not be engaged. We can put ourselves out there. We can be a protector of the people, or we can focus on protecting ourselves, whatever it is that you need right now. Potentially the moment that you are in need of stability and comfort is from when you see the storm. That's an option. So this could be the response, and then it's momentary. It's a way that you're dealing with, you're processing the fact that you have identified the storm, and then you can make the choice to do the healing work, seek community, to decide to go out there, get information, whatever it is that will still reinforce you feeling safe, secure, grounded. So I would say that's probably the biggest intersection, is this being about stability and this one being a question of whether you are safe now or later, or what risks you want to take that so you can facilitate the new beginning, facilitate the rebirth, and to give yourself and others a second chance or a fighting chance or more opportunities. So I think that that's probably actually the undercurrent, is this idea of safety and security, because we were safe inside in the storm, and this is finding safety within being able to express or identify or actually bear witness to our emotions. And that could be a response to the situation. It also could be separate. It doesn't come across like this is the triggering event. Feels like the storm is the triggering event that could activate this energy if they were working in tandem. It feels like they're either separate, and this is just something that comes up this week, and you're looking at it, you're feeling it, you're experiencing it, you're sharing it, you're connecting with others on it, or that it is in response to the storm, the thing that you've identified, and you're like, okay, well, how do I sit in safety, or what's coming up when I think about this, or that, do I feel afraid? Do I feel, wow, I feel brave, I feel, insert adjective here. Yeah, this feels really long, but they both, like I mentioned, they both feel really important, but there's such a weightiness to whatever this is here. So I'd be really curious. Please let me know as the week transpires, as the next apparently 4 months transpire. Comment on the YouTube video for this reading. Reach out to me in the chat, Insight Timer, messaging, socials, email. Yeah, because I can sit here and go, I have no idea what this might relate to for me. So I know I'm going to have to come back and really wrap my head around this, because it just feels meaningful, but that it's okay if we don't know what this means right this second. But will be held. And whether we choose to be someone who goes out there or not, there are people that are trying to also keep us safe and protected. And that we have the power in our decisions to go left, go right, act or not. And that through the process, we have to remember to kind of come back to ourselves, to tend to our emotional state and the recognition of what's coming up. Yeah, I need to like clear the energy of this reading out because that was like really weighty.